Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with keynote speaker, author, award-winning entrepreneur, and founder, Lisa Druxman. She is on a mission to help women design lives that they love to live. As the founder of FIT4MOM, the nation's leading fitness community for moms, and the author of Level Up Your Life, Lisa empowers audiences to take control of their time, energy, and purpose. Through her inspiring keynotes, Lisa blends decades of business success with personal growth insights to help women level up their lives without burning out. And everything she delivers, actionable tools and contagious energy that helps women reconnect with their why, take the action, and build businesses and lives that they are definitely proud of. Enjoy this interview. Well, it's great to meet you. I'm looking forward to getting into your story, so thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So before we get into your life as the founder of FIT4MOM, I want to know, 5 years ago, this pandemic was throwing everything sideways and upside down, and everybody had to change things up. How did you survive the pandemic of 2020, and how has it reverberated into your life in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic hit the fitness industry hard. 40% of the fitness industry closed completely, done, gone for forever. And it's almost like anybody else who still exists is still down by 30%. And we talked, there's a variety of reasons for that. For us, our entire business is built on in-person connection. So all of a sudden, not being able to meet in person, we had to pivot fast. And so my small but nimble team, we did pivot fast. We came up with a variety of classes and programs that franchisees could do online with their clients, and not just the workouts, but we even figured out ways to do mom's nights out online and play groups with the kids online. And then we did, something that we had kind of been kicking the can on for a while. We realized we needed to make happen. We created FIT4MOM on demand. And so we got into studio and had masks and created an entire online portion of the business. So that still exists. So that still is with us. But, we just really realized the importance of being nimble, I guess.
So let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis here in 2025. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's career day, and one of the kids in the back of the room is like, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you answer them?
I would say, have you ever seen a group of moms pushing strollers and working out? That's Stroller Strides. We teach fitness classes for moms that are specific to moms. Most of our classes, we have moms can bring babies to work out. We have prenatal classes, and we have stroller-based classes, and we have mom-only classes. So I think that's how I would answer it for a 12-year-old.
Now, that sounds great. Let me ask you this. What did you want to be when you were 12 years old? What was your dream life?
Oh, gosh. I think I wanted to be an artist. I really have I can't even remember that far back. Definitely never thought I'd be doing what I am doing today.
So talk to me a little bit about where you were born and raised, and what were these foundational elements that have contributed to who you are? Tell me, how did you get into fitness? How did you become an entrepreneur? How did all of this become you?
Yeah, gosh, pieces of the puzzle, right? I was born in California. I had a dad who was a psychologist, and I always was just kind of interested in that. As far as the fitness piece, the funny thing is that most people wouldn't expect is I was never very athletic. I was that kid who was always last picked for every sport. So I actually really loved fitness because it was something I could do on my own and, didn't bring any teams down. So I started really getting into fitness and group exercise and strength training in high school. And then that ended up being a great job in college because you get paid, God, I mean, this is a long time ago, pretty good money to teach a group exercise class. You were kind of getting paid to work out. And so I ended up getting my degree in psychology and my master's degree in psychology. And so kind of when you think about it, I brought that fitness passion with the psychology background together. What I didn't get was my MBA running a national business. So that I've had to kind of learn on my feet.
So talk to me a little bit about who've been inspirational forces or who's been the hero for you in your life.
I couldn't even name just one. I am really, really purposeful about surrounding myself with people who are better than I am at all the things. I have had so many incredible mentors and continue to. And I always say, like, you might not be able to have the mentor with 1 million followers or somebody who you're following, but you certainly can learn from them online. But you usually can find someone who's just a few steps ahead of you. So, I have many, many people, nobody who would be not too many people who would be famous that you would know. But I just think there are ways to lessen the learning curve. And so I learned from people who have been there, done that, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel.
So, if you could meet one person alive on the planet, whether it's an entrepreneur or someone inspirational, one person that you would love to meet and may help you on your path, who would that be?
I mean, it seems so cliche, but the person that jumped in my head is Dalai Lama. I mean, I'm big into mindfulness and peace, and I'm always striving to figure out how do you bring more of that into your world. So, yeah, I feel like that would be a good one.
So, talk to me a little bit about how you balance. I'm always curious with the work-life balance between, you know, you're as an entrepreneur, it requires a lot of time, and you have to take care of your own soul and your own family. How do you do that? How do you balance? What's your philosophy on balance, work and life together?
Um, it's funny that you asked that because I really was not good at it in the beginning years of the business. I started my business so I could be a mom first and foremost. And when you think about it, I started a health and wellness business where I'm teaching moms how to take care of themselves. What I wasn't expecting was my business to absolutely take off and, Today's Show, Good Morning America, all the things. And with that, I was living a life of just complete overwhelm and burnout, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything good enough. So I kind of had one of those days where I put a line in the sand and said, I created this and I can create something different. And I redesigned my life and I figured out what are the things that were most important to me. And also, what is my minimum effective dose of self care? What is the minimum that I need to be good enough for all the things? And I put those in my calendar first. And it's amazing what happens when you kind of flip the script on that. The things that fall off, or that, maybe you don't have time for scrolling social or watching Netflix, but you don't feel out of balance anymore because you made time for the things that are most important. So I think that would be my biggest tip or takeaway is you put those things in first.
So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh gosh. You're the architect of your own life. You get to design whatever you want. I had a mentor who once said that, and I always think about that. It's like you get to create your day, you get to create your year, you get to create your life.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've lived, the wisdom you've accumulated. What advice would you give that young version of you?
Follow your passion. Don't worry about how.
So let's say you walk into a room of everybody that's been a client or you've worked with throughout the years, and you swim through that sea of people and go to a podium and you can tell them one fun story, like the first concert you went to, jumping out of an airplane, one of the coolest places you ever visited, outrunning a bear. What story would you tell that room of people?
You know, it's the story that I often tell is kind of one of those pivotal life changing moments. When I was 13, I was with my dad and in a parking lot at night, and we were held up at gunpoint. And most people talk about how they see their life go before them. Well, I hadn't had much of a life. I was only 13. But what I already had was a lot of regret. I already was feeling like, gosh, I didn't apply myself in school or friendships or any of the things. And I felt like I got a second chance to live my life however I wanted to. And so I guess the story that I've got is, we all get a second chance every day.
So, of everything that you've done, accomplished, and become and evolved to in your life, what are you ultimately the proudest of?
Oh, I mean, 100%. The thing that I'm proudest of is creating career opportunities where women get a chance to integrate work and motherhood. They are creating this business where they're having such a huge impact in their community. That is the thing I'm most proud of.
So, everyone out there ultimately has this perception of you family, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone around you, but you're in control. You run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I see myself as someone who is totally imperfect and totally committed to growth in all aspects of my life.
So, if anyone wants to reach out, learn more, any of the good business that's going on in your world, where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in Fit for Mom or any of our classes or our franchise, then go to fit4mom.com. It's fit with the number 4mom.com. And interested in following me on social or any of the things, it's Lisa Druxman. I have a new book that came out this year called Level Up Your Life, which is really about how to redesign your life and live your best life every day on purpose.
Lisa, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for taking a minute out. It's a wonderful story. Best of luck with everything, and send my love to San Diego.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. Our esteemed theme music was composed and produced by the great E.E. Pointer of Kansas City's River Cow Orchestra. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time. Looking to get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code JOEDIMINO10 at www.agencyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyy.org/emailmarketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.